and other protests. Fox News has been interested in protests for a while. We know that. They even coordinate and fire people up at the Tea Party protests. We know this. They were almost solely responsible for the turnout at these Tea Party protests. Those were conservative protests complaining about Barack Obama, complaining about the proposed healthcare reform, complaining about taxes, so on and so forth. Now, on Sunday, there were protests in Washington, D.C. too, but you would have barely known it from watching the news, seeing as there was almost zero media coverage of this. Now, you would ask, is this because there wasn't enough of a crowd? No. This was the National Equality March, and reports range from there having been tens of thousands of people all the way up to 250,000 people total, completely trouncing many of the Tea Parties in size. So I think I would propose, Lewis, that maybe it was the issues that were being marched for that caused this to not be covered by, of course, the so-called liberal media, legalizing gay marriage, changing the military's don't ask, don't tell policy, changing legislation to include gays and lesbians in federal hate crime laws. These were the issues that were being marched about. Tens of thousands, all the way up to 250,000 people, to me is newsworthy. Almost impossible to find any mention of this on the news. And I understand Fox News wasn't there with producers off camera, instigating people to scream and shout, and that wasn't in the interests maybe of the mainstream media to promote this. But the attendance should speak for itself, and it hasn't.
Right, as a political event with possibly 250,000 people,
and even
you'd think that would get more attention than 100 people in Virginia at a Tea Party.
Right, and even by conservative estimates, tens of thousands, which to me means 20 to 40,000.
Still pretty impressive.
It's still huge. It's still absolutely huge in Washington, D.C. And related to the Tea Parties and protesting has been the increase in the public displays of weapons. And we talked about it at recent Barack Obama events. And much of the open gun carrying and frenzy has been a result of conservatives inciting their base, saying Barack Obama is going to take away your guns, buy more guns now, make it clear that you will bring your guns out in public, make it clear that you will bring your guns to when Barack Obama is speaking about healthcare, because you need to stay safe. And healthcare is such a dangerous issue that you need to be armed. And of course, the gun should be loaded because, what's the point? What's the point of
weapon?
What's the point of carrying a non-loaded weapon? You're absolutely right. So we know that right-wing terrorism in conjunction has also been on the rise. James von Brunn shot up the Holocaust Museum. Scott Rader murdering abortion Dr. George Tiller. Danny Baker walks into a neighborhood townhouse where 14 Chilean students, all in the U.S. legally, by the way, but hey, they didn't have white skin, so I don't know. They may have been here illegally, were gathered. He fires, killing 2, wounding 5. Those who knew Baker describe him as a mentally ill man obsessed with the fear that immigrants are taking over the country, not something unlike what Pat Buchanan has said many times. Stephen P. Morgan of Middletown, Connecticut, kills former NYU classmate Johanna Justin Janich, whom thinks it's okay to kill Jews and go on a killing spree, according to a diary that he wrote. He also wrote, "Kill Johanna, she must die." Johanna was Jewish and the granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor. So we know that right-wing terrorism is on the rise. And all of these things together are very concerning to me, and they're not stopping. They seem to be continuing. Here's a couple of examples. Police in Lakeville, Massachusetts are investigating along with the Secret Service after a local country club discovered a symbol that represents Eastern religious beliefs carved into the green. I looked into this. They meant to put a swastika. What they meant to carve into a golf course was I, swastika, Obama. The thing is, they messed the swastika up, and it was a reverse swastika, which actually is a completely different meaning. It's some kind of Eastern. The symbol, the backward swastika, means hope and peace in a lot of Eastern countries. So the idea was a right-wing terrorist idea, absolutely. They just weren't smart enough to get the swastika right, and they put a backward swastika down, which means hope and peace.
Even in our area, which is a relatively small area, recently there's been a bunch of graffiti. similar graffiti.
Swastikas may be correctly spray painted at a synagogue, I know, for example. And then also, speaking of right-wing hate, there's a new militia video that's warning President Obama to leave the country by October 15th. I'd play the video for you, but it's silent. There would be nothing to hear. And it's just basically text on the screen. It advises President Obama and other prominent people to leave now and give us our country back, and to do so by October 15th. And here's direct text from this video. You can leave now and give us our country back, or you can stay and continue your deeds. If you leave, we will not pursue you. If you stay, we the people will systematically dismantle you, destroy you, and reclaim what is rightfully ours. We are angry, and we are ready to take back the rights of the people. We will fight, and we will win. Deadline, not deadline, but the deadline for your national response, October 15th, 2009. Thank you to all patriots who support our cause. Be prepared for when the fateful day of the declaration of war is nationally announced. It also added, give us your response written in chalk in an envelope by the maple tree outside of the middle school. A bizarre request, a bizarre email. I don't believe that the Barack Obama administration is taking this too seriously, but we're recording this before October 15th. What do you predict, Lewis?
I mean, it's pretty much a joke.
You're not too concerned.
Like what they've got. I mean, no, it's probably a small group of people who are completely crazy. If they have someone staking out the maple tree by the middle school.
Well, I added that part in myself.
Oh, okay.
I see. So you wouldn't be overly concerned about this if you were Barack Obama.
Not at all.
This reminds me of the 20.
How is this any different than some of the people we see at these tea parties? Bringing pictures of him with swastikas and Hitler mustaches. And I feel it's the same type of mentality, and it's people that are angry, but people that are, what are they really capable of?
That's what I don't know.
They make it sound here like they've got millions of people as part of this armed militia.
That's the risk. If you do nothing, then what? If you do nothing and something happens, then what? Which is why the Secret Service has to investigate every single one of these things.
It's worthy of investigation. I just assume that nothing will really come of it.
It's almost like the 2012 people that say in 2012 the world will end.
You know what? I think there's more truth to that.
You think in 2012 it may be the end of the world?
It's possible.
Lay it out for us.
I don't know. I mean, anything can happen.
But then maybe October 15th will be the day for Barack Obama.
I think it's more likely that we get hit with an asteroid in 2012 than people taking out Obama in
the silent militia takes Barack Obama out.